Hello, welcome. It's Aaron again, bringing you another random rambling video. I started this on Friday. It is September 26th, 2025 at 10:46 a.m. Along with welcoming you to my channel, allow me to thank you for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe before sharing this video and turning on the post notification bell. I don't know if I can do this shit anymore. For those of you who do not know, and if you've been watching my channel at all, you do know, I had a stroke and I am paralyzed on my left side and confined to a wheelchair. I can't take care of myself. I can't dress myself. I can't wipe myself after I go number 2. There's a lot of things I can't do for myself. As a result, I live in a nursing home. A long care nursing home. A long-term care, I guess it's called, nursing home. And I'm supposed to get help from the aides. And they're supposed to help me get dressed and help me wipe myself after I go number 2. And all the things I can't do. But last night I was so fed up. I was so mad. I had to go number 2. I got on the toilet and I went number 2. Where else would you go number 2 but on the toilet, right? When I was done. Hello. Hang on a second. I'm making a video, so stop right there. I'll come to you. I'm making a video. You're not on there yet, so I'll come to you. I know. You're not on there.
Making video.
Uh-huh.
Well, how happy you are? See how many feedback you get?
Is it okay?
Yeah. A little milk left. I was bragging.
Oh, I see. Yeah. I got my morning meds. Sorry about that. Did you miss me? I'm sure you did. Hope you didn't have any boys in the house while I was gone. I told you no boys in the house, but I'm gone. But you just never listen, do you? One of these days, I'm gonna catch one of those little son of bitches in here, and I'm gonna give him a beating he'll never forget. Well, he'll forget it for a few days until his memory comes back. Let me finish my story. Yesterday I had to go number 2, so I did. And now when I was done, I put the light on. And after about a half of an hour, some aide, apparently it wasn't my aide, came and answered, opened the bathroom door and said, "What do you want?" I said, I have to get cleaned up. She said, "Well, I'll tell your aide." And so I waited for about a half hour, maybe only about 20 minutes this time. I waited again for a long time, and when nobody came, I put the light back on. And no one came. So I got off the toilet dirty and got back in my chair, still dirty, and I went looking for my aide. So I found my aide, and I told her that I had gone to the bathroom. She said, "So?" And I said, "Well, I need to be cleaned up." And she said, "Well, you can clean yourself up." I said, "No, I can't. I can't. And so she said, "Well, I ain't finna do it." I said, "What do you mean you ain't finna do it? It's your job." She said, "Don't tell me what my job is." I said, "It really is your job. I can't clean myself." She said, "Yes, you can." And so I sat there begging her to clean me for 20 minutes. I was in tears begging her. I shouldn't have to beg someone to do their job. I was in tears begging her to clean me up, and she wouldn't do it. All she did was make fun of the fact that I was a grown man and couldn't wipe myself, and called me a booty head. Talking about the crack down the middle of my head, or the scar down the middle of my head. She kept calling me a booty head. And so I sat in my shit all night long until the next shift came in at 7 o'clock in the morning. Luckily, they cleaned me up, cleaned up my chair, got me dressed. I wouldn't say changed because I'm wearing the same stuff I had on yesterday, but none of that got soiled from all of this. But, yes, so luckily, thank God for this is usually a pretty good shift. 7 to 3 is a good shift. I usually get I usually get the help I need on this shift. They give me my showers regularly. if that's how it goes. I'm sure it does. Regular V. I was in tears, and they sat there laughing at me. There was two of them. They sat there laughing at me. Then they kept saying, "You a grown ass man, can't wipe your own ass." I said, "I'm a grown ass disabled man, and I can't wipe my own ass." And then they kept laughing, saying, "Well, at least I can do this." And she reached back and like act like she was wiping her butt. She said, "At least I can do this." I said, "Well, yeah, you can stand. I can't." And then you've never had a stroke. I have. So I was in tears, begging them to help me, and they wouldn't do it. You know how frustrating that is. And the feeling of helplessness is just no way to feel. I hate it. I hate feeling helpless, and there's nothing I can do, and no one can help me. No one would help me. I live in a nursing home and I have to beg people to do their fucking jobs over and over again. I've had enough of it. I'm tired with this home, but I don't want to go out of the frying pan into the fire. I've already talked to the social worker about finding me a different home. He keeps saying that he's going to try, but then he keeps telling me he forgot. He forgot to send out my referral or anything. But I almost got in trouble last night. I got mad and I was cussing them out and everything else. Calling them lazy bees and told them to quit effing making fun of me. And, you know, I wanted to go for the throat. But luckily I stopped myself short of going too far. Barely, though. It's fucking... It's rough not being able to take care of yourself, and then, you know, luckily there are facilities like this that help me, that are supposed to help me anyway, take care of myself, that'll get me dressed, that'll give me showers, and will wipe me up when I'm done with the toilet. Luckily there are facilities like this, but unfortunately everyone I've been in, it's difficult to find anyone that'll do their job correctly, so it's a fucking hassle. I hate having to go to the bathroom. I shouldn't have to hate going to the bathroom. I shouldn't have to, dread going to the bathroom because I know no one's going to get me off the toilet, for one, or they're going to come and it'll take them a month to get there. And then when they get there, they won't even wipe me right if they do wipe me. I don't know how often I would take off my bibs or my pants, whatever I'm wearing. I got shit stains and I got dookie highways in them for miles because they don't wipe me. And I tell them, I need to be wiped better. And then they argue every time. I wiped you. I said, but not good enough. They're like, I think the towel is coming out clean. I said, I know because you weren't hitting the butthole where the shit is. That's frustrating too. Makes you wonder how they wipe their own ass. You don't wipe your butthole when you wipe your ass? I'll ask them, they're like, how you wiped your butthole? I said, no. And she's like, well, how do you know? I'm looking at the towel. I said, you might be looking at a clean towel, but I know you're not touching my butthole. I can feel if you're wiping my butthole or not. That's so frustrating, but that's when they do wipe me. So I'm damned if I do, and I'm damned if I don't, and I'm damned if I do. So if they do wipe me, they wipe me like shit. If they don't wipe me, I'm sitting there begging for to be wiped and then having them laugh at me. I can't do it anymore. But I got no choice but to do it. This is my life. I have to accept it. I have to be thankful, and I am thankful that I have a life. And there are things that I still enjoy in life, and I thank the Lord every day for those things. Sometimes I'm very thankful if we have good food here at the home. I hate the lunch and the dinners here at the home. I like their breakfast almost every time. But I rarely like or can eat their lunches or their dinners. So, I do thank the Lord whenever I get a meal that I like here. At the first of the month, with the food card, with my Humana Food Healthy Benefits card, I'm getting some tuna and some not hoagie rolls, but sub rolls. I'm gonna make I'm gonna make some real mayonnaise. I'm gonna make tuna sandwiches for lunch and dinner when I don't like what they're having or I can't eat what they're having. The problem is I have no teeth. And so sometimes I can't eat the food they serve me. They won't change my diet to mechanical soft or to dysphagia advanced, it's called. Oh well, what do you do? So I'm trying to get out of this shithole and go to a better place. But I don't want to go out of the frying pan into the fire, as I said. Who knows what I'm going to get wherever I go? There's got to be some aids better than the shit aids they have here. But there's some good ones. That's the problem. And during this shift here, there's some good aids. The 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. shift is pretty good. So there might be no shift. There may be no shift in the next home I go to that's any good. I've learned the overnight shift is usually pretty horrible because they expect they choose the overnight shift so they can come in here and sleep, and they expect to collect a check without doing anything. But sometimes, like myself, there are residents that are awake still overnight and that still need care. So whenever I went down there to beg them in tears to help clean me, they were both sleeping. I got mad because I woke them up to ask for help. I'm a booty head. You know, booty head can't wipe your own ass. Oh, booty head. Booty head. They kept calling me a booty head and laughing about the fact that I can't wipe my ass. The one said, I'd be embarrassed to know I'm a grown-ass man and can't wipe my own ass. I said, I'm not embarrassed. I had a stroke. And the other one said, well, God gave you a stroke because you know how you is. I said, well, maybe God will give you a stroke because you don't know what subject-verb agreement is. You don't know what subject-verb agreement is, so maybe God will give you a stroke. God didn't give me a stroke because of the way I am. God didn't give you a stroke. God saved my life after having a stroke. God didn't give me COVID in 2020 either. God saved my life while having the coronavirus or COVID-19. I had COVID-19 in 2020 and I was in the hospital for it, struggling for my life. The doctor ordered for the next day for a breathing tube to be stuck down my throat because they couldn't give me out of the 30 and 40% oxygen saturation in my blood. So they ordered for a breathing tube to be stuck down my throat. And my buddy Paul told me that once that happens, you have a greatly diminished chance of survival. So I prayed. I said, dear Heavenly Father, please, I had prayed already that, that I survived it. But I went to him and I said, I don't want this breathing tube. Please help me get better. And so he scheduled this breathing tube for let's say noon the next day. And when the guy brought in the machine to stick down my throat, I had automatically, that day, I had been breathing regular room temperature. They had me on 1 billion liters of oxygen up until this day, and they couldn't get my blood saturation out of the 40 percentile. My oxygen saturation. But they brought this thing in, and that day I had been breathing room air, and it was staying in the 90 percentile, staying in the 90s. That's a miracle. That's amazing. That's what the doctor even said. The doctor said it's a miracle. You get a complete turnaround in one day. He's like, there's no way to talk about how he couldn't explain that. I said, well, I can. I prayed, sir. That's what I told him. I said, I prayed, doc. He's booed off. He's like, yeah. Okay. So when the breathing tube guy came in, the doctor told me, we're not going to need that now. Yeah. And I'm like, thank you, sweet Heavenly Father. That's a true story, too. God's just great. He just takes care of me. He's got a purpose for me here on this earth. I don't know what it is. My grandma told me, you may never know what it is. Well, there's some purpose. I may